This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Caroline, you should tell them about the newest thing that Bloody Happy Hour is doing.
A Patreon.
It's a Patreon. What is that?
That means you're basically like a VIP member, and you get some perks. You maybe get like merch a little earlier. You get
exclusive merch.
You could get first dibs on signing up for a live show. You get episodes with no commercials.
You get our video because our video is no longer available on YouTube. It is only on Patreon. And the most important to me is you get videos of our live shows, but also bonus episodes each month. But if you're on a Patreon, you're VIP, you're going to get more.
Because I always have a lot of details I want to go to. I can law-splain. I might read a book.
This is also going to be the exclusive place that Dirty Chat is going to go to. In order to hear the full content, it's going to be Patreon. Where do they go again?
Patreon.com/BloodyHappyHour.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And
This is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
And this is your Bloody Happy Hour.
This is your Tuesday show where we're just going to go super quick through some news and what's happening. And you get your full episode on Thursday.
Yes. And first, before we get started, this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp because, it's a new year, possibly a new you. And why not start off the year or continue with some therapy? And if you're just tired of driving to your therapist, try something online, Caroline.
Oh my gosh, what you can do if you're starting to think about therapy, you should give BetterHelp a try online, totally convenient and flexible. It can be suited to your schedule. You just have to fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time, no additional charge. And all you have to do is go to BetterHelp.com/bloody.
And you get 10% off your first month.
That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/bloody.
Yes.
I feel good now. I feel good about everything that just happened today now that we got to talk about BetterHelp.
Good. All right. So tell us about some quickies.
Okay, well, old homeboy Alec Baldwin is back in the news. I'm so sick of it.
Back?
I was with that shooting
the gun. Okay.
Yes, and I'm going to give you a quick timeline because I'm not into it and I'm over it because just somebody shot the gun, somebody put the bullet in there, just figure it out. And why is this so difficult?
Why can't they figure
He's
it
getting prosecuted, then not, then he is, and now he is again. So October 2021, Helena Hutchins was fatally shot on that day. This was they thought it was a fake gun and they thought there wasn't a bullet and whatever. January 2023, Alec Baldwin is charged. April 2023, Alec Baldwin's charges are dropped. July 2023, charges are filed against Hannah Gutierrez, who prosecutors announced that they had sent the gun to the state's independent expert to see if it was determined that the gun did not malfunction. To see if they need to proceed with charges against Alec, which I'm like, you already did that, and then you didn't do it. And then they added that they would make a decision in the next, so many days. Fast forward to October 2023, bad news for Alec Baldwin. They say that they believe that they have the appropriate course of action is to permit a panel of New Mexico citizens to determine whether or not he should be held criminally for this charges. So it was brought to a grand jury, and then he is now indicted for involuntary manslaughter.
Alec is.
Yes.
Because really, you're not supposed to aim the gun at the person.
Right.
So that's where he went wrong, right?
I mean, and he shot it, and
You're not supposed to shoot it.
he wasn't in the movie. Why is he shooting it?
Oh, he wasn't in the movie?
Well, I mean, he's like the director. That's why I think he's being held. And plus,
Oh.
he was the one who was like showing them, I think, like how to hold it and how to shoot it or
And
something.
shot it and killed her?
Yes.
That's it? That's how it happened?
Yeah.
Oh.
But
I
so
didn't
then they're
realize
like
that.
they're
That's how much I
then there's
followed
like
it.
this armorer or whatever who's the person who's in charge of the bullets, and they're like, oh well, that person was hungover and they put the wrong bullet in the gun.
Why do you have real bullets on the freaking set?
Exactly. So that's why it's like the person who is in charge of the bullets is charged, and then now Alec is the one who shot. It's involuntary. Same thing as I'm going and if I'm drunk driving somewhere and
I agree.
I accidentally hit like the lady who hit the stop sign or it wasn't the stop sign, it was the student. But yeah, that same type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's where we are with that.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay
But
with it
why
too.
did it say a panel of New Mexico citizens instead of like a jury?
I think that was the grand jury, because that's who it is.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just a panel of people.
Okay.
So there's that.
And now a word from our sponsors.
There's some Idaho hearings that are happening for Koberger and all that stuff, but that
Yeah,
blah,
until
until
we hear
I
it all.
yeah, until we hear it all. Do you know who Shanna Vander Ark is? Have you heard of that?
Oh my goodness, it's on my list to do the story.
Oh,
but I haven't
yes.
researched it.
Okay, well, I'll just tell you what
Yeah.
I'm going to because it's been in the news this week. So, and this is in Michigan, and we're also going back to Michigan for something else in about 5 minutes. So Shanna Vander Ark, 44 years old, she was accused of abusing her 15-year-old son, Timothy Ferguson, who died in July of 2022, weighing 15 years old, weighed 69 pounds. He showed signs of malnutrition and hypothermia. Cause of death was, and this boy suffered from disabilities as well.
Wow.
Cause of death was, homicide, rolled a homicide. So during the trial, the boy dies in July, trial's in December. So that was like I guess it's already been a year. So she goes there, she takes this, I'm just giving you the highlights.
Yeah.
If you could still do the story because I don't know the whole thing. December, she gets on the stand. They start showing pictures of the boy, and then that's when she starts throwing up.
Okay.
And everybody's like, "That's
I
fake."
saw videos
Yes,
of it, and it made
yes.
me.
And as that was her response to seeing the pictures, then
she took some Epicac.
She
before.
took some, yeah. So she's found guilty of murder and child abuse. She was handed a life sentence. The judge told her, I guess she was sentenced in January. So she was convicted December. She was just sentenced like a couple of days ago or last week at the time of this recording. And the judge said, you intentionally and systematically tortured this child. Let's call it what it is. It's torture. You tortured this child. Apparently she was feeding him hot sauce, putting him in ice baths, and depriving him of refrigerated and cabinet access. In addition to her life sentence that she was handed, she received 50 to 100 years for child abuse.
I don't understand. Now, he was physically disabled too, right?
I just know disabled. So I just highlighted it.
What is the purpose of the ice bath?
What is the
And the
purpose
hot
of
so-
do you just have to have control? Because it's just like the Frankie and Ruby Frankie and
Yeah.
Hildebrandt and that like not letting them eat food, like starving them. I guess that's your only way of controlling them. But then like why are these people why do they have children? I just don't know. It's just there's a lot of questions about everything, so it's fine. There you go. Gosh, there's something going on in Michigan. Michigan's a whole different thing. But before we could go back to Michigan, get back on the plane, we're going over to California.
Okay.
So hands and feet inside. Let's take a trip. On May 27th, 2018, 32-year-old Bryn Speechker. I do not know how to.
You always get the worst
No,
last
listen.
names.
Spejcher.
Oh.
Spejker. Her name's Bryn. Okay, we're gonna say Bryn. She fatally stabbed her boyfriend Chad 108 times.
Is this the beauty queen?
Oh
Wait.
no,
Oh.
there's just so damn many articles. I just have to pick like out of the ones that like
Okay.
I see the most. But yes, I did see that tranny beauty queen lady do something. What'd she do? Who knows?
Killed her boyfriend's kid in her dorm.
Like what? These people, you know what? I don't even know.
Taco Bell.
But this is in Thousand Oaks, California, in his apartment. And apparently the couple had smoked marijuana together. And then she repeatedly stabbed him. But then she also stabbed herself. Okay,
There was more than marijuana.
Exactly. So responding officers said that they found Bryn in a pool of blood, holding a knife. They had to use a taser and a baton to disarm her in order to take her into custody.
Oh no.
This is some more than smoking weed, a little bit of weed.
She hung around Austin Harris.
Yeah, she did. She did. During her trial, a medical expert testified that her behavior was a result of cannabis-induced psychosis. What kind of medical expert did you get? And according to the National Library of Medicine, a diagnosis of the disorder is given when hallucinations or delusions materialize shortly after consuming cannabis. Laced with fentanyl. I don't know. I just added that part.
Yes.
So her defense claimed that she was involuntarily intoxicated and that Chad, the boyfriend, had allegedly bullied and intimidated her into smoking this last bit of marijuana. So last December, she's found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, killing her boyfriend. And then she was facing a possible 4-year term sentence. Gosh. Okay. So it comes to sentencing, which this happened last week as well. The family of Chad goes up there and they give their, statements during the sentencing hearing, and said that, your actions have torn our family apart and I'll never see Chad again. So just typical grieving statements. But instead of prison, Ventura County Superior Court Judge David Worley sentenced Bryn to 2 years probation and 100 hours of community service.
No.
Saying that she had smoked the portion of marijuana, and from that point forward, she had no control over her actions.
Wow. So they are sticking with marijuana. So they had to do a full tox screen on both of them and didn't find anything else. But those shrooms, they don't show up on a drug test.
Really?
That's how Austin Harris basically got away with it.
Oh, wait, was it just shrooms for him? I thought he was like
At
surely
that
on
time,
acid or something.
in the past.
Yeah.
He did like acid and LSD in the past.
This
but,
girl, she has
during
like
that time-
cut. If you probably scroll through her picture, she had like cut marks all over her neck and face.
But weed?
I don't know.
Listen, I'm scared of weed. Gave me anxiety.
Yeah.
I smoked it a couple of times, so I'm scared it'd make me stab somebody. But
Well,
I
ain't
don't
never
make
gonna be
anybody else in
smoking
the
weed
world.
around you, April.
I don't think it'd make anybody else like that. I just get in my head when.
Some people say that even like with like Adderall and like it's not an anti, it's a
stimulant
will give you anxiety
if you're not ADHD.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you start thinking and
Yeah.
it just stresses you out
Yeah.
because you won't do too much. So yeah, that's that case.
That sucks.
And then get back on the plane. We're going back to Michigan for, do you remember the school shooter, Ethan Crumley? He was Oxford school shooter, and he's the one who his parents.
I know the name, but I don't
his
remember the
parents
story.
they were looking for the parents, and the parents go on this. They take off, and there was a manhunt for the parents. Okay.
Oh.
Well, 4 teenagers were killed in November 2021 in a school shooting inside Oxford High in Oxford, Michigan. 7 other people, including a teacher, were wounded. The 4 victims died due to their injuries. Shortly after the killings, the parents of the shooter were arrested following this manhunt, and because they like initially went into hiding. Like, why are they hiding? If like what's the point of like running and hiding? So they ended up, and this is the first time any parents of a school shooter have been arrested and tried. And now they're currently being tried for involuntary manslaughter.
But
so let me tell you, Jennifer Crumley, the mother of 15-year-old student Ethan Crumley, he pled guilty and he is already convicted and he's already sentenced, his life sentence.
okay.
So now they're going to focus on the parents because Jennifer and James are both the parents. They are being tried separately. Jennifer's trial just started. At the time of the recording, it started today. As you are hearing this, it started last week. So she is facing charges in connection to the school shooting. They said that the prosecutor said that Jennifer Crumley was still given the opportunity to prevent the incident just hours before the shooting. And since both parents had a meeting with the school officials hours before it happened, the prosecutor said that Jennifer ended the meeting abruptly, saying that she did not want to take her son home. She did not check the backpack, which had a gun in it. Okay. So they said that there was also a social media post by Jennifer just days before the shooting saying that they were celebrating the purchase of their son's new gun. So they had just bought him a gun. They knew he had problems. The dad takes him to the range. They're shooting, like all this stuff. Yes.
Yep. Should have been arrested.
So, I watched a little bit of it today. I'll tell you in a second. So prosecutor said that Jennifer was aware of this disturbing behavior at the time the gun is bought, and that they were aware of his downward spiral months before the shooting had happened. Interesting fact is that the mom's attorney is, what's her name? Shannon Smith. And she was also she was the attorney for Larry Nassar, the gymnastics guy.
Yeah.
That was just an interesting connection.
Yeah.
Also, the school did not notify Crumley about her son's deteriorating performance or pattern of disturbing behavior. So I believe they're also holding the school accountable for some of these things too. But the husband's trial is going to be a little bit later. This is what happened. In October, the Michigan Supreme Court had denied the couple's appeal, like basically saying like, yeah, you are going to face trial in connection to this shooting. Because days before the shooting, a teacher tried to contact Jennifer to notify her about internet searches on her son's phone, that he was searching for ammunition, but the mother did not respond to the teacher. She later texted her, I guess there was text messages, I remember this from back when it happened, that said to her son, LOL, I'm not mad at you. You have to learn to not get caught.
Oh. You have to be smarter.
When the news of the shooting was made public after 911 calls came in, Jennifer Crumley texted her son saying, Ethan, don't do it.
What? She knew.
That's why this is going.
Did Ethan kill himself?
No.
He's still alive.
He's still alive, and he's sentenced to, he pled guilty to 24 charges.
I don't know why I didn't know this school shooting.
What
was his reasoning for doing it? Was he's bullied?
Just disturbed. He would draw things, and I'm sure he could have been, he looked like he'd been bullied. I mean, he just looked like a disturbed kid, he just kind of disheveled.
I can see like a parent being just as mad, like the one I just talked about, I think in Illinois, where the kids empathized with the school shooter a little bit because he was terrorized and they started terrorizing his sister.
Right.
And so they were like, he got fed up.
Well,
so I can see a mom, semi empathizing with maybe those kids need to pay, a little bit. Never saying it's okay for a school shooting, but if he didn't there's not a reason behind it and he's just disturbed and you're still co-signing and sneaking and it's just
they had bought him the gun, but then it's like, why are you buying a 15-year-old a gun? Like their own gun, or like have it locked. I don't know.
No, why are you buying a 15-year-old a gun? And he ain't a hunter.
And he's not a hunter. Exactly. I don't know.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
But I was watching a little bit of the testimony today from one of the maybe assistant principal, and she actually went out into the hallway, saw a kid who was laying there who had been shot, and then she sees the shooter down the hallway, but at the time didn't know he was the shooter and was just like, Ethan, what are you doing? What's happening? And then she finally sees the gun, and then she's like, oh crap, I guess. And before that, protocol was for her to like alert, and like, I don't know if there's something, a walkie-talkie that they have, and she should have just said lockdown, and she didn't do that, and she didn't do the lockdown part. She just was like,
they're going to be held liable.
So I think, and it was one of the teachers testified, one of the teachers who had gotten shot, and she said she had just like, she saw him outside of the door. She turned she was facing the door. She turns away from the door, and the arm that was facing the door that's the one that got shot. And then later she looks, and there's like 3 bullet holes that are in the door that were like, she's like, I would have gotten shot 3 times if I wouldn't have just turned slightly. And
but no, you don't know all these, that it was a lockdown at all.
No.
Because the principal didn't alert.
As far as because, without having a trial, you don't get all these details.
Yeah.
But since the parents are on the trial now, you get all the details. And it was pretty intense so far.
Ethan didn't have a trial.
He did not have a trial. He pled guilty, but now the parents have been held there, and they were going to be tried. They wanted to be together, to do it together, but now they're separate because they're like, well, there's going to be more blame put on somebody, and I'm pretty sure more blame is going to be put on the dad. Because the dad took him to the gun range, and the dad bought the gun, and the dad is the one who went and got the ammo and did this and this. Gosh. But then the mom is the one who texted and kind of knew about it maybe, or knew maybe thought he could have had the gun, or I don't know. So a lot of it will come out, in the next couple of weeks, but that's what's happening at this moment.
It's never okay for school shootings. It's never okay for violence at all. Sometimes I try to get in these people's head and try to think, what in your mind, Mom, would have made this logical for you, like made this okay for you?
Well, I think we always try to get to where we are like, what and why? Same with
make it make sense.
Child rapists and stuff like that. It's like, make it make sense, but it'll never make sense because we have functioning brains halfway. Yeah. I mean, we're not murderers, but we are a little, crazy, but that's fine.
Speaking of child rapists, that's where we're going next week. For Thursday's episode.
Yep. Where are we going?
Yeah. So brace yourself now. Get your drink ready for Thursday's episode.
Oh, wow. Do you need this?
No, I actually was a little prepared today.
Wow. Well, yeah, it's pretty scary.
Yeah, there's our twisted part of our podcast. We will see y'all Thursday for a full episode. Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
Bye, y'all.
Goodbye.
Hey, I'm Blair.
And I'm Brittany. And we're the host of
By the Cover Podcast.
We cover everything from mysteries, thrillers, romance, chick lit, and even some smut.
Don't forget the smut.
Yeah.
We're so excited to get this thing going and share this with you guys. We've been talking about this for months, and it's finally happening.
Yes.
Special shout out to Rogue Media for helping us with this.
For sure. You can find us on Instagram at bythecover_podcast.
You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok, so don't forget to give us a follow on those too also.
And we are so excited to dive into some of our favorite books and share those with you.
We can't wait. Hope you love it.
Hi,
and welcome to Bustles and Bangers with your hostess, Rachel and Christopher.
I love it when you say my name.
And you didn't say hi.
I didn't. You just kept going. I'm going to introduce the book. I'm not reading it.
It's
because I don't like reading.
Girls like cowboy butts, and those jeans don't hide anything. Find us on Instagram at Bustles and Bangers or on RogueMediaNetwork.com.
Hey, I'm Katie.
And I'm Summer. And this is Monsters in the Attic. So we thought we'd bring people on.
Yeah, it's very real. And we're fortunate to have a lot of friends who have a lot of monsters, and we can't wait to share them with you.
I love that we're so fortunate that we have so many friends with so many monsters. Where can people find us?
Facebook, Instagram, and everywhere they listen to their favorite podcast.
They can find me at my therapist's office.
As they should.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.